welcome to this week's video. I am in the town of Dunbar and it is a particularly special place. If you can see over in the background, there is an old, see if I can see it over here, so I can't see, I've not got my glasses on. There's an old castle. The flag is the RNLI flag, but this was a very, very important castle during our history. I don't know much more than that, but there is lots of little signs about, and if I can see one, I'll, excuse me while it gets dark in here. We're not that far away from sunset at the moment. This is my third night coming down and it's the first time talking to you, but I've been absolutely blown away by this. I'll give you a little view. It almost feels very Games of Thrones type scenario here, apart from the big swimming pool and the cliff. I don't think they had them in Bravos. Is Bravos a place? There's a lovely island right out about here, and it is covered in cormorants. I know that because I flew the drone out, and if the footage is any good, I'll show you that round about now or at some point in the video. Have to tell you, I flew the drone last night. There were 35 mile an hour gust winds. And again, I don't know if you can hear them in the background, but all the white things on these cliffs, I mean, thousands of them, all the way out to that point there, but especially around the castle, it's nesting seagulls, thousands of them, and they're all flying. So my little drone was up in the sky, and a lot of the birds were thinking it was another bird trying to steal their eggs. Birds lay eggs, don't they? And they were attacking my drone. So it was also over the water, so if there was any bird strikes, it was going to be absolutely catastrophic for the future of the old DJI. And anyway, Nancy's with me this week. I know I told you she wasn't there last week, but she's over there. Hi, Nance! Hi! See what I mean? It's brilliant. We've had a wonderful weekend, and we are hopefully going to get treated to our third beautiful sunset of the weekend. Oh, we are indeed. I'm not going to show you just now, but you can see it shining in my face. Oh, we've ran out of path. Can you swim? We might need to swim. So as I said, going to get treated to our third sunset of the weekend. It's probably highlights blown out to crazy here because I'm pointing straight into the sun. But the only thing that was missing, and you beggars can't be choosers, is the clouds have been missing. So it's been blue skies, which is lovely for going out and having a nice day. But as us photographers know, it's nice to have some cloud cover because then you get a chance of the sky going red. Last night's sky was amazing. I've got some photographs I'll show you. So I'm back in the harbour. This is the third night in a row we've been here. It's quite dark and dim at the moment. Over here we have the other side of the castle. The sunrise will come through. You can't see it here just now, but there is a gap over on this side that looks right out into the bay. I'll show you that in a minute, but look at all this. This is a working fishing harbour. All the creel's out. There's a distinct fishy odour, and it's not me. I have washed this weekend, but yeah, whoever designed this place, it's fantastic. So you know, Massive props to them. I was here last night, I had my camera out, and you're definitely going to see this photograph as long as it turns out and I don't lose my memory card on the way home. But as I was standing here, trying to photograph through this gap, which you can see over there. Also, I don't think this video will pick up, but there's a sun helion just here. The sun obviously is over here, but there's a very slight sun helion here. Looks like a rainbow. Anyway, I was standing here, and all of a sudden I could hear this funny watery breathing noise, and I just turned the camera, which was the 100 to 500, the zoom lens, perfect timing for it, and right in the middle of the bay a little seal popped up here. A little seal popped up about here, and I've got a nice wee image of him. So the point of this video is really just to enjoy the scenery again. Dunbar is a stunning place. If you've never been, you need to come. There is great little restaurants, great cafes. The views are to die for. The drive along the coast. There's links golf here if you want to come and play golf. If you're more of a walker, there's walks everywhere. And today we went to North Berwick, which is only a 20-minute drive, 25-minute drive down the coast. And that's another stunning village. There may be a video in future to come from there. So yeah. The other thing is about landscape photography. You might get an idea of what I'm talking about now. Pretty soon that sun sets right in that gap. So this is probably a good time to talk about it. I've got, obviously, the GoPro has a very wide field of view. That's why you can see so much when I turn that round. But I like to use the 100 to 500. The Canon is, as you know, I shoot Canon. But the 100 to 500 is a fantastic lens. And a lot of people don't think about that for landscape, but I'm going to show you some shots that I've taken with it, just to show you that there's flexibility in all the lenses that you use. You know, your wides can be used for other things, just other than wide landscape shots. Just experiment with what you're trying to achieve. These creel boxes here, I got some nice shots last night. I might show them, they're okay. But the sun started to, I'll show you, come down, and you could actually see the sun through the netting of the creel boxes, something like that. And just getting a bit more creative rather than just standing and taking the shot. The other thing is that, as I said, this is my third night here. So I've got a good idea of the layout of the place. I also have a great idea of the time in the place. I know when that sun is going to hit that gap, and it is in exactly 24 minutes time. So I'll come back and take some more photographs. But in the meantime, we're going to walk right round the breakwater, and we're going to get down to this cliff. And again, I'll keep an eye on my clock. So yeah, you coming? Come on. So as you know, my proclivities for photography lie in a certain direction, and I think that tells you what I do. I shoot Canon. I know. Oh sorry, you caught me there. I was just trying to be Mark Hamill from Star Wars, but there's only one sun. If you are enjoying this video, if you could like and subscribe, it would be great. I hope you have done. It's a bit of a meander through a lovely place in this week's video, but I hope you enjoyed the drone footage. But when you're sitting looking at all of this and the history, look at that for a shot. Let me do a little pan there. So yeah, back to some photography stuff. Try and experiment with the lenses that you've got. Don't just follow the formula of wide is for landscape, zoom is for wildlife, 50mm is for your street photography. They can all be interchanged, and it's down to what you see and how much you're willing to experiment with it. I'm going to get the big one out in a minute, and I'm going to see if I can take some photographs of Bass Rock, which is way in the distance, but it's quite atmospheric, and if I can catch the sun setting in that, it should make for a nice image. And if it turns out nice, here are several of them. On a separate note, have you noticed how brave I'm getting? I'm vlogging in front of people. There's quite a lot of tourists here. I hope they don't speak Scottish. As I said earlier in the video, I'm telling them, I know it's late at night. You keep it down. That's where they all live. It's very spooky, they're watching me. Has anybody else seen that film with Tippi Hedren? The harbour of Dunbar, ladies and gentlemen. A wonderful place. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. If you have, like and subscribe. I know it's a little bit shorter than my usual videos, but the whole point was just to give you a little taste of what we did this week. Oh, my nose is running. So tune in next week, we'll have something probably a little bit more focused on actual camera stuff. But I do hark back to something from a couple of videos ago about don't just blow all your money on gear, because you could end up in a special place like this if you spend a little bit of money, save up and go somewhere where it's good to take photographs. See you next week.